What's up, guys? Um, got a 2009 Jeep Wrangler behind me. This is my Jeep. I've had it for, I don't know, 8 months, something like that. And I've got the heat issue. Seems like it's pretty common. I've got hot on the passenger side, not on the driver's side. I think it's super hot on the passenger side, and all the way to the window, it will be tempish. It'd be coolish. I don't know how to describe it. It ain't hot, that's for sure. So I've gone through different things. I've talked to people in the Jeep community. Love the Jeep community. All you guys are awesome. That's one of the reasons I got a Jeep, for that camaraderie. Love it. Um, Checking blend doors, actuators, that kind of thing. Everything seems to be working right. The blower is working right. All the different settings seem to be working right. I can't figure out anything else. So I've been flushing the heater core. That seems to be the most common issue. Hoping I don't have to replace the heater core. So I've flushed it now 4 or 5 times. I've flushed it with vinegar. I've flushed it with just water from a hose. I've flushed it with air. I've flushed it with CLR. I've let vinegar sit in it for multiple hours. Actually, vinegar, I think I left sit in overnight. I let CLR sit for a couple hours. I tried some other radiator cleaner. This stuff here, it says in the directions not to leave it too long in there, so I didn't. I had it in there, I think, for about an hour or something like that, and then flushed it back out real good. I have cleaned the entire cooling system. I have flushed the entire system. I replaced the thermostat just for good measure. I was doing all that, why not? So it's got all fresh coolant in it, and it seems like, and it may be in my head, I don't know. It seems like every time I do it, it gets a little bit better. So I haven't given up yet, but this is the last one. So I've got this rig hooked up here, and I'll show you. All right, so I've had this running since about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I got it set up here, um, and then I have let it sit. This is a bucket full of CLR, and I've had it running through the heater core. Had it running for about 4 hours. I ran it one direction and then switched it up and ran the other direction. Unfortunately, checking this morning, you can see it foamed up pretty good on me and overflowed. So I turned it off last night and just let CLR sit overnight. So there has been CLR sitting in the system for about 18 hours now. All right, this was a very clean bucket. I don't know if you can see down there. There is a little sediment I'm seeing, which gives me some hope. So I'm very hopeful that got some out there. I know those heater cores are not very big, so a little bit of sediment is good. But this has been sitting overnight, and I'm gonna run it again this morning. I don't know, maybe a couple more hours. I think I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna run it one direction, and then back the other direction. So about to turn this on. So this is just a cordless drill, or a corded drill hooked up to a drill pump. You can see I've got a hose pulling through the pump, going into the heater core, and then coming out of the heater core. I've just got some old pipe that I had laying around from some home renovation stuff, feeding back into the bucket. So it's working good. Nothing's leaking other than the foam up. So, and this drill actually has, can't see it on the bottom side here. It's got a lock on it. So I'm gonna turn this back on, leave it run for a little while, swap it out again, and then see where we're at. Hopefully we've got heat all the way around. All right, guys, got everything disconnected from flushing the system, and put some hot water down through it and blew it out with air, get as much as I could out of there of this cleaner. I'm pretty positive I used this bucket. I got about 3 gallons of clean hot water through it, and then blew it out with air. So I'm pretty confident all the cleaner is out of there. So I got the lower hose back on. You can really see it down here. It's down here. All right, I'm gonna take the upper hose. We're gonna fill this with coolant until it starts coming out of here. So that should get it full through the heater core and part of the block and everything. So get as full as I can from this point, and then I will also top it off at the radiator. The bottle is still full, so, and then we will we'll put a funnel on here. We'll put a funnel on here with a little bit of coolant in it also, and then as we're running it, burp any additional air out of the system. Hopefully we got hot air all the way across the vents, or the next thing is a heater core. So wish me luck. Hopefully all this works, Lord willing. All right, so I got the funnel hooked up, clamped to the hose, bungee corded to the ceiling there, and give me some gravity feed. Just need a way for that to, stay there. It's still a bit of a reaching over the fender and everything, but so done this before when I'm filling it. It seems to be one of the best ways, because all I did was unhook the heater core and drain that. I did carefully, very, very carefully, drain that into a container, because all of that coolant is new. So I've got my container here. I did push a little bit out through here just because it was continuing to drip and I didn't want it dripping all over the place. So I did get drain a little bit out of there. But now we're going to fill it up. This should go through the heater core. This is the top hose. This is the normal in hose, and go down through here, which is the normal out for the heater core, going into the water pump, and that should fill up the water pump. And then this goes into the block, so it'll go in through wherever inside the engine it goes, until everything is full. This being not the highest point, but a high point, open, air should come out of there. I also have the radiator, which on this system seems to be the highest point. It's higher than the water bottle. It's higher than the, obviously the water pump and the thermostat. I believe, looking at this, the heater core is in the dash, fairly low, so it should be higher than that. Based on where these hoses come out, it may be a little bit lower than the top hose. So I don't know, but that's the highest point I can open to allow air to escape as we try to fill this and burp the system. All right, guys, I changed up my configuration a little bit. I brought the hood forward, this shorter bungee cord, pulled the funnel over to the side. It was just getting to my back, reaching all the way over the engine there. So right now, I'm just pouring the coolant in, filling it up as much as I can, and just letting it gravity feed through the system, and then keeping an eye over there, waiting for it to come bubbling out of there, and then we'll move on to topping it off in the radiator. All right, guys, I had to change my configuration one more time, get a little bit higher because it's draining super slow. I don't know if you can see it there. You can probably see the towel's wet. So it is starting to come out of that location. So we're gonna do now, this hose hooks onto there. We're gonna try to do that without spilling much more. And then, like I said, we'll top off the radiator and start her up, start bleeding the system, and hopefully we got hot air. All right, so if you've never bled a system, obviously the car's not running yet. I got my big funnel up here. It's the one that fits the radiator the best. I'm not filling it up very far. And I'm gonna fill it up to about where it starts opening up, right about there. And once it stops bubbling down there, I'll start the car, because that's filling up the radiator and anything else it can get to. I'm not sure if it can get anywhere else at this point without the water pump running or the thermostat open. But it may be seeping its way through, because it can go through. Here's the lower radiator hose. It can go down through there anywhere. So we'll just keep, I'm almost out of this gallon. Oh, correction, I am out of this gallon. All right, so let me grab the other one here. All right, so like I said, so I got it topped off here. It's not bubbling anymore. Okay, every once in a while. Make me look stupid. I got it up there. I'm not gonna fill it up anymore. It will take some of that. As the water pump starts moving, it'll take most of that, and then I'll come up here and start filling it again. I won't fill it past about there, just because as the system starts moving, starts heating up, it seems like right now, I'm not a mechanic, guys. Know that this is not necessarily a had to, but how I did it. Maybe how I do, I don't know. So once the thermostat opens up, it'll actually start bubbling up and fill this up, and then it'll go back down. And that usually is pretty much the sign that's the air should be out of the system. So like I said, I start the car, the water pump will move, it'll drain some of this out. I'll top it off again, and we'll just wait for it to bubble up and get all the air out. All right, guys, got it running here. As you can hear, a little bit of coolant stuff on the belt. That's why it's chirping like that. We'll get that. I'll actually pour it. I don't know. We'll get that cleaned off somehow. All right, so as you can see, it took some of the coolant down there. So we're gonna top her off here. See what I can do with one hand without spilling it all over the place. All right, that water pump's running, but it'll take a while for that thermostat to open. So we'll just keep this until, again, it's not taking any more down through there. I've got the heater on, so it should be running through the heater core and everything, and we will know when it starts to get, the air starts getting hot. Alright, so I think we're going to leave it right there. And we'll give it a little bit of time, see what happens. Alright guys, sitting in the Jeep now. And it's still not... Again, I think it's better than it was before, but like this vent, I just, like, it starts to hurt after, yeah, that's starting to hurt. That gets hot. This one is pretty warm. It's pretty nice, but never gets to the point where I can't hold my hand in front of it. And then over here, it's warm. It's not cold, but it's definitely not hot. I mean, we're not talking about this one where I can't hold my hand in front of it. And then that one over there is even hotter than this one. So, oh, looks like I'm doing a heater core. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap up the video there. Don't forget to check out the next one. We're going to do the heater core, and I'm also going to cut it open to see why we need to do the heater core. So check in on that one. Like I always, appreciate you guys, all your prayers and support. God bless.